And I'll text you back.
Text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me, then I'll text you back.
You text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me, then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-5243. Now you know.
Yep.
205-964-5243. Now you know.
Good afternoon, January 10th, 2022. We're here to talk about real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesaling real estate. Today's topic, 5 figures monthly driving for dollars, looking for vacant houses. We're going to go deeper into that. It ain't as simple as it seems, but it is simple. So there is a method to the madness to be as productive as possible. But guess what? Got a surprise. We want to introduce you all, if you're not aware of it, from some of you all that's been around a long time. We are bringing back the Stemi. Going to probably do this daily until I run out of money. And so
I didn't know we was doing this.
Anyone that's can actually view me live here is not eligible for any of the winnings, and anyone you know is disqualified. So text the word Stemi to the 205-964-5243. You'll get an automatic reply back with some instructions. You must follow those instructions to qualify. So in short, what's going to happen is you're going to receive a text message back, and it's going to have a link to one of my TikTok videos. First thing you must do is tap the link, of course, when you get that text message back. You're going to watch the video till the end. You're going to like it, share it. And then at the end of that video, the last word that I use, which is not a difficult word, it's a 4-letter word, you're going to place that in the comments and the city that you're from, and you're qualified to win the $100. So we're going to try to give this away live, you said, by the end of the show. Yeah. So you want to stick around. Guess how you can increase your chances? You might have to split the bread, but it's 50-0. When you share it, someone else will do the same thing. Say, now, when I send you this now, if we win, I want half of it, right? So you do as many people you want to. So at least $50, that's $50 falling out the sky if you all had to split it. But of course, you can keep the 100 or whatever. They might just do it because they're nice, and you're in there. So, again, text the word Stemi to the number. I'll mention it again, a couple more times throughout this. To the 205-964-5243 and win $100. A C-note, a crispy, a big face, a blue face, as they say, today.
And you said we disqualified.
Officially.
And the people we know disqualified.
I don't know who you know. I don't know who you know, so, you know what I'm saying? So, hey. As long as I don't know, you know, hey, let it rip.
All right. I don't have any questions right now.
Okay, well, yeah, but while we're waiting, make sure that if you want to partner with me on some self-storage or mini storage, text the word units to this number. We can partner up on those deals. One thing great about that, it doesn't matter if you're in a small town or not. We can still get down if the property is in a small town. Let me say that. Matter of fact, those are preferable. They're easier to get to the decision maker with is the owner. If you want the training on PropStream, you sign up for it through digulator.com. Text the word time to the number here, and we'll train you on how to use it the proper way to start making some money with it. And one of the main reasons most people fail at trying to wholesale real estate is they just can't figure out what a great deal is. right? That's where it all starts and stops. You gotta at least know that. So this video here, if you text the letters GD to that number, it will explain how to determine if you have a great deal or not. So I know we got some questions now, right? Wrong, right? Again, giving away $100 today. All you have to do is text the word Stemi and follow the instructions when you get the message back. You must follow the instructions. Text the word Stemi to this number to win 100 big ones today.
All right. This isn't really a question, it's more of a statement, but this one came from Motivational Manifestation on YouTube. He said, so the market is bad here in Vegas.
You don't know what you're talking
It can't
about.
be.
No, you're wrong. Define bad, and how did you come to that evaluation, motivational manifestation? Please tell me how you come to that realization.
All right. This one said, how many houses per week should I find located in Charleston, South Carolina?
How many weeks per week should you find? Well, actually, the word find is what are you doing to locate properties? If you're probably driving for dollars, because that's the topic of this video. Yeah, so if you're out there driving for dollars, now it's all depending on the time that you can put forth, and you're going to really need daylight hours. And this time of year, the daylight hours are shorter. It'll gradually grow back up leading up to March. Just a couple of months away from it being back into the longer daylight periods. But if you can do at least 50 per week, you will be in there. Now, so that's basically, 200 per month. That's a good start. Now, once you get it down pack, and if you have the right tool, it will allow you to do that a lot faster. You could do it through either PropStream, you can do it through batch leads. I'm not going to mention others that's out there because they don't like me. At least they haven't shown me, but those two do. So you can use one of those services. It'll help you with your driving for dollars and speed up the process tremendously. Now, at the end of the day, the old pencil and notebook still work, or the pen and notebook still work also, or just placing notes in your smartphone. So, but that can speed up the process. So I have a video on how to use those, at least the app version. So.
All right. This one says it's from Ray Jones on YouTube. He said, how do I find the owner of a property that is owned by a company?
Okay, how do you find the owner of a property that's owned by an actual company, or it's in an LLC or something of that sort, a business entity name? Well, they're going to have a mailing address, all right? So you can reach out to them by mail, and if they're local, well, I guess they don't have to be local, but you can actually roll up on them, knock on the door, go to the offices, if it is an office, and see if they're interested in selling. Now, some secretary of states, or whatever the division is called within your state, you can look up who owns or registered that business entity. And a lot of times it's that actual individual, or they may have paid an attorney or someone to do that, which that still could be a route to finding out who owns it. So you can mail them something, you can knock on the door if they're local, or you can try to do some research through the state to see who registered that business entity and reach out to them that way, possibly.
Okay. This one is from LaShawn Major on YouTube. He said, I'm going to do my best to keep your messages loaded with those storage unit leads.
Yeah, I actually pushed those along to one of the team members here. We're gonna reach back out to you, LaShawn. You're doing a good job, man. Keep it coming. You down there in that Troy, I guess Dothan and Troy sort of close, right? A little bit. Okay, so so you're down there in that area. I didn't know it was a Taylor, Alabama. He said it was a property in Taylor, Alabama. I wonder if I got any.
Well, people never probably heard of Flatwoods.
Okay, yeah.
Enterprise?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's on the
They
freeway.
had the tornado.
That's on 65, yeah.
Okay, this one is from John. He said, hey, Footman, how can I make an offer on a fire-damaged house if I run across one driving for dollars?
Well, how can you make an offer on a fire damaged house? Well, fire damaged properties are still just properties that is repaired, need repairs. Now, in some instances, the fire damage is so bad, I guess the word bad, it's so bad that it just needs to be demoed and just scraped. So a lot of times they're just smoke damage. So now it just boils down to repair. Even with smoke damage, it could be an extensive repair with fire damaged properties. Because normally got to gut the whole thing and just go back with all new sheetrock and insulation and whatever, and maybe floor, just to get the smell out of that, if nothing else. And so so it can still be extensive repairs, but the numbers still have to work at the end of the day. You can sort of tell when someone is not, you can't save it versus another one. So, but at the end of the day, it's still just repairs. Just it may just be a little bit more extensive than normal. So the numbers still have to work is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. While she waiting to do another question, remember we're giving away $100 today. Text the word Stemi, 205-964-5243. Follow the instructions in the text reply back. That's how you win. 100 big ones. We're going to cash app someone. I'll get it to you however you want us to give it to you.
All right. This one is from Carolyn on Facebook. She said, do you tell a real estate agent you're a wholesaler?
Okay, Carolyn from the Facebook says, do you tell a real estate agent that you're a wholesaler? And the answer is no. On the seller side of it, you're dealing with an agent, they're dealing with a seller, which I don't advise newbies to do, but since she's answering the question, I'm going to answer. No, you don't need to go into that with an agent. It's already going to be difficult enough in most cases to deal with a real estate agent. You really want to complicate it. Number one, you're going to assume that they even know what wholesaling is. Now, a lot more realtors are aware of it now than they were just 3 years ago, because of the internet. A lot of wholesale content is out there from me and a bunch of others. So that's the main thing. But it's not like you're trying to hide anything. It's just to keep down confusion. At the end of the day, can you perform? So, but again, but you could go down that road if you want to, Carolyn. Just make sure you know what you're doing when you're dealing with an agent.
All right, this next one is from
You still
Stacey.
ain't got no Instagram? What's that? Oh wow, they tripping.
This next one is from Stacy on YouTube. She said, how can I find the comps in an RV for commercial multifamily, 5 units and above, or for a mobile home park? Thank you.
Okay, she wants to know how can you comp a multifamily property, 5 units or more, and a mobile home park? Mm-hmm. Did she say something else? Oh, saying in an RV. An RV. I guess daily rental or whatever. Well, those are commercial, categorized as commercial properties, and so it's not like houses. Like she used the word comps. In most cases with commercial, it's based on the income that the property either can produce and or is producing. All right, and then you want to subtract the expenses. We'll just use the annual numbers, how much they've actually generated in income over the course of a year, and then you subtract that amount from. You subtract the expenses from that amount. That gives you what we call a net operating income. Once you get that number, then you can determine based on the price that's given what the capitalization rate is, and that's short for a cap rate is short for that. And that's basically just saying how much will I make over the course of a year, interest, similar to, I guess you would say, interest with my investment. That's normally how they're evaluated. It's a little more detailed than that, but that's how they're evaluated. It's not like houses. See, with commercial, you have so many different types of properties. She just named 3 different ones. She said RV, multifamily, and mobile home park. So I think a mobile home park would be considered that. And so so it's just different. It's not the same as houses, but there's plenty of content out there to break that down for you on individual forms of types of commercial real estate too. So,
All right, this one is from A Shine. They said I have a vacant lot, leads with deceased owners. I want to pursue and can't find the next of kin or executioners. What should I do next?
Wow. So he said he can't find the owners of some vacant lots. Be ideally to know what you have done. So I'm not sure what you're doing. I'm just going to go through some of the steps that you can take. Um, Ask the neighbors; they may know of that property if there are neighbors. Um, you can use a service like Intellis.com, INTELIUS.com. Search that person's name. It's going to give you potential relatives, and then you can skip trace those relatives that they suggest are kin to that individual, and you go from there. There has to be a mailing address as far as where the tax notice is going. I mean, where the actual, the yearly tax notice is going now. That may be a situation they just died and that information has been transferred to whoever is going to handle that now, if there is someone. So, but those are some of the steps that you can take if you haven't already done that.
Okay. This one's from Sheila. She said, Footman, I thought if owner was LLC, that was the owner of the property, and more than likely it's an invested. Also, I thought you said you don't reach out to LLCs.
I don't. Someone just asked. I guess they meant someone just asked the question. I was just answering how to possibly reach out to them. I guess that's what she was responding to. I'm asking.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just answering the question, Sheila. That's not who we ideally reach out to. Someone that generally that's those couple of layers there, or makes it more difficult to reach them. So.
All right. Stacy said, I'm also looking to buy and hold storage facilities. Would you have any that you would wholesale?
Yeah, we would love to work with you, Stacy. Make sure you text me on the number so we can lock you in as a potential buyer.
All right. This one is from Charlotte. She said, hello, Footman. How do I find cash buyers for land, and how do I find the address for land that has no address visible?
Okay, so Charlotte, am I saying that right?
Charlotte.
How do you find cash buyers for land, and how do you determine the address that has no address visible? Okay, so as far as how you find cash buyers for land, well, really you can use the same tool or tools such as PropStream, batch leads, or whatever to see who, number one, owns the property. But in that process, you can do some research on that particular zip code or within a certain mile radius of that property to see if there were any recent transactions. A lot of times with land, you may have to go back 2 or 3 years, where with houses, you generally like to stay within a year, but with land, you may have to go back that far just to see if there's the one that's purchased, which is normally not a good thing. You would like the ideal to see some current, when I say current, within the last year transactions. All right, now how to determine, well, my point was you can build a list there. You can also, if you actually have it on the contract, you just advertise the property, and hopefully you get an extremely good deal on it also. You'll advertise in Facebook Marketplace, Facebook group, Craigslist, put signs out in the area. You can reach out to other wholesalers in the area by just simply doing a Google search. You can just use houses, but just reach out to them, see if they have any investors that buy land. Sell my house fast in the name of the city. When you reach out to them, let them know you have a couple of lots that are for sale. They may have some buyers that like those. All right, now the other thing is you can just sit in front of the actual property itself and just pull out your smartphone. If you have an Android, ask Google, what's my location? And if it's a iPhone, just ask Siri, what's my location? It should identify your location. Now, if you have one of the apps that we use, either PropStream or Batch, then you can sit in front of the house. You can identify it that way. Or if you know the address next door, you can identify the address next door, left or right, or across the street. You could determine what the actual physical address there is also. Now, sometimes land, depending on where it is, or lots, it may not have, if it's a lot, normally if there's a house been there before, If there are other houses around, it normally is going to have an address. If there's one on the left, on the right, and it's just in the middle, it's normally going to have an address. But sometimes it may be out in a situation where there's no address been identified by the county or the state. So.
All right.
Oh wow.
All right.
People
This
on there?
one.
On TikTok, I can't really tell on Instagram. I mean, I know people on here.
Okay, well, that's true.
This one's from David. He said, "Do you teach how to wholesale other than driving for dollars?"
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just a method. You know, I just chose that method sitting there watching the Chargers and who were playing Chargers and the Raiders yesterday. You know, it was the topic I came up with. Sent it over to my graphics guy, and boom, you see that thumbnail. Hopefully, it caught your attention. But yeah, there's more methods: bandit signs, direct mail, cold calling, text messaging, ringless voicemail, Facebook ads, Google ads, other wholesalers. What am I missing? I think I went down the gamut of different methods. So
All right.
direct mail. I'm sorry.
This one says, "What can I sign up for the app and make that?"
If you text the word tool, TOOL, to the 205-964-5243, that'll get you going. Conscious Mind. Interesting name. I guess I ain't got my name up there, so I can't trip.
This one says, "I know the commercial properties are based on the NOI. However, what service can I use to find the comparables on those properties?" And then she also said, "I understand the rate of ABC. How do you make offers based on that? It's confusing."
Well, you'll determine, doing your research, you'll determine what we're using cap rate as the measuring stick to see if there's an opportunity or not. You'll have to reach out to brokers in that area and commercial brokers and see what properties are selling for at full price as based on cap rate in that area for that particular type of commercial property. That's going to be the simple thing that you do. Now, as far as figuring out, how all those numbers work, I said there's going to be other content out there. I can't just get in this because it's going. Most people here are for houses, and I try to get into all that stuff. It can be boring. So, and then it's hard for me to explain it without actually putting numbers up there to see, at least the way I can explain it. Let me just say that. But it's plenty of content out there, Stacey, that will help you with that. Not to put you off, but
Okay. This one came from Betty. She said, "We have some properties and I would like to partner with you. How can we start the process?"
Good evening, good afternoon, Betty. So she wants to know how she can partner with us. You can text the numbers 5050 to the 205-964-5243, or you can text the word units to the number also, 205-964-5243.
Okay.
Remember, we're giving away $100 at some point during the show. So text the word Stemi to 205-964-5243. We're giving away $100 today. Do whatever you want to, but you might just use it for some gas money to do some driving for dollars and flip that Hyundai into 10,000.
All right, we got the first question on TikTok. To find a buyer, do we contact a buyer or get it under contract first? This property is in Seattle. So do you find the buyer first or get it under contract first?
Well, ideally, you go anytime before you contact buyers, you want to have a property under contract if you're trying to promote a property. That's the worst thing that could happen to you. And that you reach out to a buyer, you get them information on it, and they don't need you anymore. And you don't get paid, and the actual deal goes down through that buyer. So you need control. Our superpower is that contract, right? And having not control of the per se property, but control of the situation for that temporary time frame that you and the seller have agreed upon.
We've been getting this question a lot. PropStream got rid of the MLS. How to get comps now?
I guess people don't understand that when PropStream, the MLS feature that they had there, properties that sell through MLS are public record. PropStream still has the information. They just made it simple that if you only want to look at properties that sold through MLS, you could. Those same properties are still there. It's just they're not identified as being sold through MLS, but it's just only just a couple of more clicks to determine that. On any property, once you determine that it's a property that you want to compare to the subject property that you're targeting, all you have to do is just click on it in details, and if it's sold through MLS, it's going to come up on that particular page, that detail page for that particular property. The information is still there. They just made it a lot more simple to just click on MLS if you only want to look at those properties that sold through MLS. But all transactions are public record in most states. You got your non-disclosure states, but in the other, 40 states, I think it's something like that, it's public record. So it's still there. It's just you have to do a couple more clicks to get to what you want to see, but the information is still there.
All right. This one says, well, pretty much answered that.
Yeah, if you want to run comps, just text ARV. That's ARV to the 205-964-5243. And in that video, I show you how to run comps. Use the props.
Okay, this one says, where is the best place to find motivated sellers nationwide?
Where is the best place to find motivated sellers nationwide? Terry, I wish there was just a button that we could click and it just pour down all motivated sellers. They're going through a divorce, tired landlord, death, whatever the situation. But we can target those lists, but that doesn't mean they're still going to be motivated to sell a piece of real estate cheap. Only thing we're going to do is play out the numbers that their situation has dictated enough of them will sell cheap. So you're just targeting lists of individuals that own real estate, and you may filter a little bit more to target specific type of people that own real estate, such as people that own rentals, quote unquote. Hopefully some of those are tired landlords. Someone that's going through a situation where that person that owned the property died, so pre-probate, free and clear. You're just looking for enough equity there. You don't care what their reason is, why they want to sell cheap. It can be all types of reasons. So, but the equity needs to be there. So you can build a free and clear list or a high equity list. So you're just building a list of people that own real estate, and you just let life dictate how many of those are going to be motivated to sell cheap. So it's not like a motivated seller list that you can buy. That doesn't exist, my man. You have to farm for that. You know, you're targeting large numbers of people that run that own real estate, and you just know by playing the numbers out, some of them will be motivated to sell cheap, and part of it is part of your negotiation skills also. But I wish it was just that easy. And don't let anybody ever try to sell you that. You're going to get burned. Trust me.
All right. Derek Bailey asks, Ty, has he ever used realtors to find cash buyers?
Great question. Have I ever used realtors to find cash buyers? Yes. I have a video on that. Just text the word buyers to 205-964-5243, and I answer that question in detail in that video. Remember, we're giving away the $100 later on. Text the word Stemi to the number 205-964-5243. You must follow the instructions in the video. It's a free entry. So follow the instructions that you receive back once you text the word Stemi.
All right. Derek is just telling people to hit the like button. Let's see. Kenny asks, I'm hearing more and more about wholesaling being regulated, and just watch a stream with your boy Jamil Pace and two other dudes how this is going to be doing.
If it happens, whatever the laws are, you just adjust to them.
Yeah.
You know, you just adjust to them. At some point, what alcohol wasn't legal. It was still happening, but it wasn't legal. But people adjusted to whatever the rules are. You know, they regulated it, so you just adjust to it. Just have to see what comes down the pipeline. Just get in there and make the money now, and then when something happens, you adjust to it. Don't worry about that. You know, no one can predict the future. Trust me, they can't. They can't predict the future. No, all these states are not going to get in line at the same time. I know that's not going to happen. They never do that. It would have to be from a federal level. I know they don't probably have an interest in it.
All right, this is a question on Instagram. I understand that if I'm using a dialer or a text message service, I am going to want to use a number within the area code. But once I start talking to the seller outside of the first cold call, do I need a phone number within the seller's area code?
Yeah. So they're asking, should you have local numbers to the areas that you're targeting? In my opinion, yes. If you're going to be doing some serious marketing in a particular area, you should get local numbers for that area. But that's not difficult. You know, we're only talking a few bucks to do that.
All right. Somebody on TikTok just said, "Thank you for everything you're giving us. Is very good information."
Appreciate you guys watching and consuming the content. I really, really hope it helps.
All right.
Oh yeah, they just listened. But if you're listening on TikTok, Instagram, but TikTok in particular, we're giving away this $100. Text the word Stemi to the number and follow the instructions in the video. Let's get it. A 100 spot, a crispy, a C note, big phase 100. I'll take a little phase 100. Me? Yeah, I'll take 1,000. How many? 10,000? Is it how many pennies? 10,000 pennies. Wrapped, hopefully. They said this dude. I seen something. I don't know why I was watching. This guy, he had an employee that quit or something like that, and so the dude kept calling about his paycheck. So the dude then showed up and dumped whatever the amount of pennies on his his paycheck was, but they were all greasy.
That's something here, little.
Now he ain't got nothing to do it. Oh my God! He dumped it all out in pennies. So what do you do at that point?
Cut somebody out. They had somebody like that on TLC where what is it? They like their budget or something.
If it's free money, I'll take it, but if it's not
They
pay all in pennies, like when they go to like the grocery stores, stuff like that.
Oh wow, that's awesome. You got what's the question you got?
All right, we got one on TikTok. How long did it take you to get your first deal?
I like to think I'm a bad example on that. It took basically 30 days from the day I put out banner signs until I got a check in my hand. It was 30 days. I don't like to make people think that's the norm. It definitely possible, but don't have. You can have those goals, but don't let that be like shattering if it doesn't happen in that short amount of time. But it definitely can happen in 30 days or less. Remember, this can happen today. $100, one big one. Stemi. I'll just send it to you in dollar bills. But no, it's going to be electric. Yeah, I see. They've been checking the wrong place though. Do not text in the comments Stemi.
They already do.
It's going to be a dead entry. If you text comments in the Stemi on YouTube, Facebook, any of them, you ain't following the instructions. You're not going to be entered. You're not going to be entered.
All right, here goes another one on TikTok. Can you provide phone numbers for tax evicted properties or finding available properties for sale?
Yeah, you can skip trace any of those. That's all real. You can skip trace any of those.
Let's see. I'm trying to skip around. Okay. This one says, is wholesaling real estate really that hard? Some people say it's a tricky business to get into, and I'm wondering if it's really that tough to make it a business?
Well, in most cases, most stuff, it's going to be a challenge. If not, everybody will be doing it. Um, it's a very simple process, and some deals are actually easy, but some deals are actually hard. Meaning that you've made money from them. But I'm no smarter than you are. Trust me, I ain't. But you still got to apply the information and do it. You just need to know, is it possible what you hiding? It's off. Oh, it's off. It's off. You can turn the fan on right here. You can get that right there. Yeah, you can pull that around. It's up. It should be plugged up. Let me get it.
No, I'm good. It's like the precaution. Thanks. Getting hot flashes.
That is hilarious. Y'all just don't know. So, but anyway, yeah, it's but you wanted, as a young lady used to work for, she said, I just need to know if it's possible, Mr. Ty. Yes, it is. So you just got to put the work in. Stop whoever you're listening to. Say tricky business. I'm not sure what they mean by that, but just the information is free. I don't know what else to tell you at that point. You still got to put the work in.
Oh, let's see. This one says, is it possible or smart to get properties from the other states under, or should we just stick to our area? If so, how should we go about that?
All right, he wants to know, should he just stick to his area or should you wholesale outside of your area? It's called virtual wholesaling. Well, nothing prevents you from doing both. People do both at a high level. So to answer your question, nothing prevents you from doing both. It's all about just time management and just scaling up. So you could definitely do both. Now, if you're in a small town, it makes it more difficult to do it versus if you're in a larger city of any decent size. So sometimes you may not even have an option but to target other markets. So, but if you're in a decent sized market, yeah, you can start there, learn the business, and then start duplicating your efforts in other markets.
Okay, let's see. How can minors get into real estate wholesaling?
How can minors get into to wholesaling? Well, ideally, what you would do is you would partner with someone of age, and because, well, first you need to educate yourself, and you would need to partner with someone of age that can sign a contract based on your state, based on your state requirements to sign an actual contract, and then from there you would just you would partner with them. Family may be a brother, sister, a parent, maybe a friend, cousin, whatever, and you be the brains behind the operation. So that's how you would get involved in it. So at that point, yes.
Okay, this says, it's from Michelle on YouTube. She said, hello, Footman, how do you narrow down your best local target area to wholesale?
Say that again.
How do you narrow down your best local target market area to wholesale?
How do you narrow down your best local target market area to wholesale? Well, ideally, what you want to do is you want to base it on the number of sales that are going on in particular zip codes. And it can be a little tedious process. You can build a list. You can just use Zillow as a free tool to actually build a list of properties that have sold in each zip code in a particular market. So the first thing you're going to do is build you a Google sheet with all the zip codes in a particular market. Then you go to Zillow and use their filters, and you're going to target houses. You're going to target houses that have sold, we'll just say within the last 6 months in that particular zip code. And once you put in the zip code, Zillow to the right, and as the date of this video, is going to show you the number of properties that are sold in that time frame in that zip code. So you go back to your Google sheet. If that's 96 properties, you put it there. Go to the next zip code, type it in, boom. That's 32, boom. The next zip code, you type it in on your sheet, from your sheet into Zillow, it gives you 66. And so once you build that sheet, then now you're going to know how many have sold in particular zip codes. Now that should give you a good indication what the most of the transactions are happening, and you want to target those zip codes.
We got one on Instagram. In your mentorship, program, do you help us secure a wholesale deal?
If you're actually doing the actual coaching, then yeah. The coaching option, yeah, that's part of it, is me helping you put deals together.
All right, this is also on Instagram. Hey Flip, what do you know about transactional funding?
Well, transactional funding normally is used whenever you're trying to purchase a property using an outside funding source the same day the deal is going to close, no later than the next day, right? And some people do it because they're trying to prevent the seller and the buyer knowing how much they're going to pay. Sometimes they may even use it to possibly in a foreclosure situation because the lender controls so much of the deal. But you have to have a buyer ready to go. So just be careful when you're using that. But that's the purpose of transactional funding. It's temporary funding, so you can close the deal in a day or so, and your buyer comes in the next day.
All right. Also on Instagram, I have 2 LLCs. Could I wholesale to myself? And what are the benefits in doing that?
They say they have two LLCs. What would be the benefits of wholesaling it to themselves? Well, I don't know. What would be the benefit? I've done it before. Back then, I was just trying to get money at the table because I was doing some, actual fix and flipping, and so I would pay myself, and then, get the start and repair budget or whatever. I'm not sure what would be the benefits, but he said wholesaling it to himself. If you're not trying to do a fix and flip or whatever, I don't see where the benefit would be in doing that, if I understand the question correctly. Remember, text the word Stemi if you want to win this $100 we're going to give away here shortly. Text the word Stemi and follow the instructions in the actual video. In the text. They coming in now? Okay.
All right, this one says, do you ever do out-of-state flips? If so, do you get inspections? And if you do, how do you find solid people to inspect a house for you?
Well, out-of-state flips, no. If you're talking about an actual fix and flip, I've never participated in that. I don't know if I ever would do that because of what goes into doing that. You just have to find a good crew. But you just talk about just to do an inspection for you. At that point, you're going to use the power of networking. Use Facebook groups to reach out to other wholesalers or real estate investors in general in that market and ask for recommendations. That's what I would do if I was trying to do that. If you're actually talking about a fix and flip and not a wholesale deal.
All right. This one says, how can you prevent your Sunto deal from being undercut? Memorandum will not work.
How can you prevent your Sunto deal?
I guess like seller deal.
I'm not sure what he means to define Sunto.
I'm guessing.
Educate me today, Daniel.
I don't know if it's Sunto. Maybe it's a typo.
Educate me, Father.
Let's see. This was from Stacy. She said, which states are non-disclosure states? And also, which states require you to be a broker to wholesale?
Non-disclosure states. Yeah, Google. So the non-disclosure states are, according to Google, there are 12 of them. Alaska, don't count. Idaho, Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, says some counties in Missouri, Montana, New Mexico, North Dakota, Texas, Utah, Wyoming. That's an interesting group of states. The Utah, Wyoming, Montana, New Mexico, North Dakota, Idaho, Alaska. That's an interesting group there, isn't it? Those are probably some of the more least populated states in the union in the 50. All right, and so what was the other part of the question?
Which states require you to be a broker to wholesale?
All right, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Illinois, from my understanding right now. Oklahoma, Illinois, Kansas is requires you to have a license right now. If you go back to Thursday's Flippinar, I need you to do a video on that so they can just go to it on it. I think we got that cut. It should be a cut. I'm gonna turn that into a clip or something they can access on how to, I guess, not really get around it, but stay within the law and without doing a license. I explained in that video on Thursday how to do that, but hopefully that answers the question. So now we know there are 12 out of the 50 states. There are 12 of them, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Possible 7 of them. No.
Okay.
Oh, we got to pause. Remember, text the word Stemi to the number 205-964-5243. Some of y'all don't need $100. I get it. Y'all got it going on. But the ones that do, boom, follow the instructions when you get the response back.
All right. She also asked, can you skip trace vacant homes?
Of
Yes.
course. That's a huge part of it, Stacy. Yes, ma'am.
Let's see. This one says, is it best to place each property in its own LLC?
If you're trying to, it's best to place each property in its own LLC. That is a technique that a lot of people use on single family houses or just really different properties in general, to place each property in its own entity. And a lot of times they do that so they won't tie together, put them all in one entity. One other property may cause some issues as far as being possibly sued, and it takes all of them down. So ideally and legally, I'm not sure what the tax ramifications is on that, but yeah.
All right. This one, he said, how can I protect a subject to deal from being undercut?
Oh.
Sorry, because sometimes I don't scroll all the way down, so I won't lose my place. So
he had an N there instead of a B.
No, but he had changed it. I just hadn't scrolled all the way down.
Okay, cool. How can I protect a sub 2 deal from being undercut? Memorandum doesn't work. When you say undercut, I'm not sure what do you mean undercut, if you could explain in more detail. I'm sorry, I need to know what he means by undercut.
I got one on Instagram. How do you weed out a wholesaler from an end buyer? I would hate to use my time showing a house with a seller and the person ends up being a wholesaler and not a cash buyer, and waste of showing time.
Two things I can think on the top of my head. First, require a $2,000 earnest money deposit, right? Okay, second, but your first question is, how fast can you close? If the response isn't, as soon as you can get a clear title, you're probably dealing with a wholesaler. The only reason that a quote-unquote cash buyer may not give that response if they're dealing with a hard money lender. But those two things normally will weed out or allow you to identify whether you're dealing with a wholesaler or a cash buyer very quickly. The amount of the earnest money deposit and how fast you want it put up, right? And how fast can they close? Those responses will normally be your identifier that you're not dealing with a wholesaler. But it's okay to deal with a wholesaler as long as they come be transparent with you. They may not have a buyer ready to go, but they may be a go-getter and can make it happen or whatever, but you can't allow them to tie your property up for a long period of time. You just can't. You just can't.
All right, we got another one on TikTok.
Unless you already know them, know what they're capable, like I said, and what they're capable of. So.
We got one on TikTok. Can you wholesale pre-foreclosure and foreclosure homes on the MLS?
Can you wholesale pre-foreclosures and foreclosure properties off MLS? Pre-foreclosures are, a little different than foreclosures because the person still technically owns it. If it's on the MLS, that means it's probably already been set up for a short sale, or it possibly could still be going through the process of a short sale. But yeah, it is possible. I'm not going to go all the way through that because it's just a long process for explaining both. But there are a lot easier deals out there than those. Trust me.
All right. Can you do a 80 to 20 deal if I find the great deals, and can you execute them?
We'll do 50-50. If you find a great deal, you're dealing directly with the owner, you have it under contract, and it's off market, we can do 50-50.
All right. What are the red tag lists?
Red flags, or what he's saying?
Yeah. I mean, I'm reading what he said. He said, what are the red tag lists, and are they great? Are they good leads?
I'm not even sure what a red tag list is. You might want to put the mic up closer, Ken, too.
Yeah, you might have to follow back up with us on that. The guy from earlier that was asking about the end buyer, how to weed out the end, the wholesaler. He also asked, but I probably won't get to be able to deem earnest money until the buyer sees the house, right?
Well, that's not uncommon. Wholesaler or cash buyer both are not going to put up earnest money without seeing. Well, I say that sometimes they will. They may already know that that's a deal for them, and they just may be that aggressive with it. So they want to take it off the market. Now, sometimes people do that with whatever number of days of inspection, which I'm only going to probably give 3 or whatever, so you don't show it to anyone else. But you can't let them tie your property up that long. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and get into the topic today. What is it? 5 figures, monthly driving for dollars, looking for vacant houses. All right. So in this business, my goal is to help you make some money. Is the easiest way to get there. All right. Now, a lot of people starting out with this the way I started out. And before I get into this in more detail, make sure you text the word Stemi. We're giving away $100 after I finish this project. I guess Jessica can start looking. Well, we'll give it a few when I get in here. We'll start looking for people. All right, so we're going to give away $100. Text the word Stemi and follow the instructions in the video, but in the text you receive back. But with driving for dollars, when you're starting out, what I try to do is I try to give you the easiest path that I know how to a payday. All right. And some people are starting out with very little money, if any. All right. Now, when they say very little money I assume most people can come up with gas money. And I know, trust me, I know that may not even be the case. All right. We have to work on that. But assuming you got at least gas money, especially about $4 a gallon, I get it. That can be a little pricey. Driving for dollars, meaning you're driving to look for potential deals, and ideally we focus when driving for dollars on vacant houses because a lot of times they are easier to identify than any other houses, right? You can, in some cases, this house is vacant. Now, not always the case. I've called a couple of people before and say, hey, my name is Tom, I'm calling about the vacant house I see that you possibly own. According to courthouse records at 123 Main Street. Say, this house is not vacant. I live here. Oh. So it might not always be the case. But boarded up windows, we like to think that's vacant, right? Half the roof is off. We like to think that's vacant. Sometimes the lawn is not taken care of. Now, that was I was looking at on that particular house I'm talking about. The lawn was, knee high or whatever, but he said he lived there. So, hey, that's what's up. So, but anyway, so those are some identifiers. You can look at the mail in the mailbox. Sometimes it may be piled up, or you may see some old mail on the doorstep or something, depending on how it's delivered. So those are some identifiers that it possibly is vacant. So that makes it easy when you're driving for dollars to identify those. What you also should be looking for when you're out driving for dollars, you definitely want to try to target potential tired landlords. All right, and you'll target, as I mentioned before, the for rent signs that are red and white, black and white, orange, black and white. Normally, that's the owner. You bought it from Walmart, Home Depot, or Lowe's. All right. Also, when you're looking, you'll see the for rent signs from property management companies and or real estate agents that are managing properties for particular individuals. That's an opportunity to get on the other side of it and reach out to them as a networking opportunity for potential buyers when you find properties in those areas. Management companies make money on the amount of gross rents collected each month. So the more rents that they can collect, the more money they can get paid. Same thing with an agent if they're doing the management. So they may have buyers that are looking for more, or at least they will present to those buyers, their clients, properties that you present. So that's another thing. While you're out driving for dollars, you should be looking for renovations that are going on. You should be looking for a possible fix and flip, or maybe a renovation going on because they're going to turn it into a rental property. So when you see that, you see some workers out there putting, look like they're doing some stuff, get out, introduce yourself. Hopefully the decision maker there, the actual money man, the investor is there, and you all can have a conversation, let them know that you're going to have more properties in the area, and you fact find to see what else, what he actually looks for in the price range, the minimum number of beds and baths or square footage, level repairs they like to deal with, how many are they looking to buy each month, how fast do they normally close, what other areas do they buy in. You want to determine all of that. Now, if they're not there, then the workers, you want to let them know, hey, well, you all, please let whoever has hired you that, hey, we'll have more houses like this one in this area. And you give them some incentive, hey, maybe if he buys something from us, we'll give you a couple $100, maybe $500 if he buys something from us. Okay, so with that being said, so now you have a lot of different things that you're looking for while you're out driving for dollars. Now, if you ever intend to be using bandit signs, also pay attention to if you notice signs in those areas or not. Sometimes we have to get outside of our comfort zone, especially when you're driving for dollars, because you'll run out of just space if you just stay in your particular area. So you want to get outside of your comfort zone. So now when you're out driving for dollars, what information are you collecting? Well, the first thing is the address of the property is the first thing that you're going to collect. All right, so now that's simple in the sense, well, it can be simple. Sometimes it can be difficult because sometimes houses don't have numbers on them. It's not on the mailbox. And you can't determine that. So there are a couple of things you can do. The first thing you want to do is look at the house on the left, look at the house on the right of that house, if there is one on the left and right, and it's in the middle. So a lot of times houses are numbered by 4s or by 2s. You can determine quickly how they're numbered. So if it's by 4s, if on the right side of it is 1624, and on the left side of it, what is that, 1616, then yours is probably 1620, right? Or if they're separated by 2s as 4 digits, then you can do the math on that. All right, now, the other thing you can do is use, I think I mentioned earlier, you can use, everybody has a smartphone. Just ask, if you have an iPhone, ask Siri, what's right in front of the house, what's my location? If you have an Android phone, sit there right in front of the property and ask Google, what's my location? And they're normally going to identify that. Now, if you have tools like PropStream or Batch Leads or Land Glide or even Deal Machine, not affiliated with 2 of them, but Batch Leads and PropStream I am, those apps will identify your location also. And you can favorite those properties. And when you get back to your desktop version, you can get in more detail, but it makes it a lot easier and faster to look them up. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the old pen and paper still work also. Those tools haven't always existed because the internet has not always existed, definitely not smartphones, but real estate has and wholesaling basically has. All right, so you've collected all of that information. You built your list. So you say, well, how many should I actually target? Really as many as you could possibly do, because it normally takes quite a few to get to a deal. But ideally, if you could do 50 a week, that's 200 a month. You're on a good pace. But if you're consistent with that, it's just a matter of time. As long as you're taking those lists and then skip tracing those lists, reaching out to the owners either by mail, call, or text message. to see if they're interested in selling. And from there, it's just an actual numbers game. So with that being said, that is how you can start possibly making 5 figures per month, driving for dollars, looking for vacant houses. I gave you more than just looking for vacant houses in that diatribe, because you can also possibly be building and networking with potential cash buyers for your deals in different areas that you're driving for dollars. And also, if you're going to use bandit signs as a marketing tool, that is an opportunity to possibly identify what areas you can get away with it. But also, if you see bandit signs, if you're not going to do it, you still want to call those numbers and network with individuals that are using bandit signs, which are normally other wholesalers. So, Jessica, are we ready to identify a winner of today's $100?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
put it in the spin ball, the electronic spin ball, and what we got here?
All right.
Doom, 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 doom. Is it your final answer? Cat, dog.
All right. So the winner is Jacqueline Newton 3 on TikTok.
Jacqueline Newton 3 on TikTok. So Jacqueline, what you need to do, she can direct me. We need to follow her, right?
Yeah.
We need to follow. We're going to follow you, Jacqueline.
Or we can reply.
Huh? No. You don't want to put a business out there because we're going to have to get her to call us.
You're right.
All right. So Jacqueline, we're going to provide a phone number for you to call us. Right? Now you're gonna give her the 332 number.
Okay.
Yeah, do give her that number. We're gonna provide a number for you to reach out to us now, and we'll just ask you for your how you want to get paid. So Jacqueline Newton, what was it? 3?
Mm-hmm.
Jacqueline Newton 3 is the winner of today's $100 Stemi. All right. Hercules. Great job. 100 big ones. And we're going to do it again tomorrow. So.
You get 100 and you get 100.
And you get $100. What are you going to do with it? So yeah, we're going to do it tomorrow. So if you want to increase your chances of winning, just invite others, right? Now they're going to have to split it with you because you invited them or whatever. And hey, do something. What can you do with $50? Huh?
It's driving for dollars.
Yeah, put it in the gas tank to drive for dollars. Yeah. No. Yeah. Hey, $100.
$100 is all, that's what it takes.
Yeah, gas money for driving for dollars, man. Yeah.
It takes $100 to take the kids to the movies. About $200.
No. I get it though. I like to eat that. I like to eat that expensive over. Is that the most overpriced thing in the United States of America? Movie popcorn.
It is.
It got to be.
$10.
You better take your person now.
All right. So anyway, we have the winner today. So we'll be back tomorrow. Again, you can win the Stemi. Don't forget, you want to partner with me on self-storage or mini storage, text the word units to the number. That's units to the phone number. You're trying to get the training on PropStream. We'll set up a 30-minute training if you sign up through digulator.com. If you didn't, we're not going to train you, period. So you have to be verified through that, sign up through us. And then if you don't know what a great deal is, that's why most wholesalers fail. Text the letters GD to this number. And I think that's it. Jacqueline, we good?
I sent her a message. She hasn't responded yet.
Okay, so Jacqueline, you got to get this bread, baby girl. Somebody that know jacking. Are you jacking?
It's I see Stacy. She was asking what's the best way. Just text him on the 205.
Yeah, just text me on the 205-964-5243, Stacy. All right, and we'll see you guys on the flip side tomorrow.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me, yeah, and I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
You text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-5243. Now you
Yep,
know.
yep.
205-964